Good evening, everybody. Super excited for another webinar here, the 30-minute follow-up conversations. Those of you that are guests on this webinar, welcome, welcome. Super excited for the information that you're going to receive tonight. We have an absolute, just fantastic presenter. We've gotten to know her over the last several years in just doing life together. And honestly, the things that come to mind when I think of Patti Connell, first of all, is just a fun-loving wife and mother. She's so proud of her children, so in love with her husband, and she is an avid golfer. It seems like she's always hitting the golf courses when she's not working. And she absolutely is one of the most successful women that I've ever met. She has a very successful insurance company that she runs with her husband, in addition to her Lifevantage business. And she's always out there networking. And I don't want to take a ton of time, but I do want to let you know real quick, Michelle and I, we got introduced this information 6 years ago from a primetime video, an ABC primetime investigative report. And as you listen to Patti, just keep in mind that most of you should have seen that video already, but those of you that have not, make sure you go to ABC Liveit, ABCLIVEIT.com, and watch that ABC Primetime Investigative Report right after this if you haven't seen it already, because it will absolutely blow your mind. So with that, I will turn it over to our presenter tonight, Patti Connell.
Thank you so much, Shawn Poe. You and Michelle are incredible leaders, mentors, ultra successful servant leaders. You have just been incredible mentors to me and my team in this business. So I know we have to keep it tight tonight because we've got really cool, another cool call at 8:30 for training our team. But thank you everybody for hopping on tonight. I know everybody's busy. It's officially summer. I can't believe the 4th of July is a week and a half away. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Patti Connell. I am a businesswoman. If you would have told me 5 years ago that I'd have a home-based business in network marketing, I would have said you have completely lost your marbles. I went to college. I majored in accounting. I passed the CPA exam. I used to manage millions of dollars for one of Warren Buffett's companies. And then about 30 years ago, my husband and I started an independent insurance agency from ground zero, didn't have a single contract. And now we have contracts with 30 companies, you name it, Travelers, Safeco, Encompass, Auto Owners, Progressive, on and on and on, and have built it into a multi-million-dollar business. So I was 1,000,000% not looking for another project in my life, and I am an avid golfer. So it's pretty much, if you don't work with me or you don't golf, you really don't ever get to see me, unless you're one of my children, and most of them golf too. So anyway, thanks for hopping on. I just encourage everyone on here, like Shawn said, if you haven't seen that ABC investigative clip, take a look at that right when we're done. My jaw is still on the ground from when I saw that 5 years ago. I am astonished. And I wasn't looking for a business, but I was looking for better health, because in 2003, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, which is not good if you're an avid golfer. And I ended up on Humira and methotrexate and prednisone. And I am not saying that Protandim or any of our products cure, treat, diagnose, or mitigate any disease, but when you bring down the inflammation in your cells and your body's able to work the way it's biologically designed, amazing things can happen. And I was able to get off all of my drugs. I have not been on a prescription in over 4 years. I probably play at least 150 rounds of golf a year. And so when I had such profound health improvements from reducing my oxidative stress and activating the NRF2 pathway, that got my attention. And I'm a businesswoman. And even though I wasn't looking for, another project or another source of income, I really should have been, because, over the years, as I've learned more and more, You know, the economy is ever shifting. It's really changing. I mean, Amazon has really changed the game on how consumers buy products and how they go direct from warehouses to people. Brick and mortar stores are closing left and right. You know, you can be the best employee in the world or the hardest worker in the world at your own business. And just this economy is shifting so much that I think it's just incredibly smart to have not all your eggs in one basket, to have multiple streams of income, and especially to create a residual income. And, you know, even though my husband and I thought we were doing everything right, you know, the reality of it is we weren't able to save enough money to be able to retire when we want to and do the things we want to do. So I'm going to quickly share some information with you. Hopefully this works, where I can share my my screen with you. I think it's pulling it up right now, maybe. Here we go. Let me see. Let's see here from beginning. So can you guys see that slide?
Yes, we can, Patty.
All right, awesome. Okay, so I want to introduce you really quickly tonight to a company called Lifevantage. It's publicly traded on the NASDAQ. And they are the industry leader in the field of nutrigenomics. And that is, and by the way, you know, anything coming out of my mouth, I couldn't have told you 5 years ago. I didn't know anything about health and wellness and nutrition. And I'm learning so much, and I'm having so much fun, and my health has improved so much. But like I said, you don't have to know all this stuff to love what we do. But nutrigenomics is an emerging field in the $500 million health and wellness industry, on its way to $1 trillion industry, going to be the largest economic trend in world history. And it's using nutrition and naturally occurring compounds to affect your gene expression. People used to always think, oh, whatever genes you're born with, that's what you get. Well, that's not really the case. You can affect your gene expression with incredible gene nutrition. So if you saw that ABC clip, and if you didn't, check it out right away. I had never heard of the word oxidative stress, but I'm a visual learner, so I love this apple. Oxidative stress is the medical word for cellular damage, cellular inflammation, your cells rusting from the inside out. And no matter how healthy you live, you can be vegan, non-GMO, organic, gluten-free, whatever. If you breathe air, you have oxidative stress. You can make better choices, but you're still going to have oxidative stress. Herbicides, pesticides, pollution, working out, microwaves, pumping gas, all that kind of stuff. And oxidative stress is linked to hundreds and hundreds of diseases, things you never want to get: cancer, diabetes, all these different diseases. And yet I'd never heard the word before. And so again, you know, if you're a visual learner on the bottom, that's like kind of what happens to a cell. When I first started learning about this, I really had a hard time wrapping my mind around how, you know, my rheumatoid arthritis was improving by bringing down the oxidative stress, the inflammation in my body. Somebody else was having improvements in depression. Somebody else was, you know, cancer tumors were shrinking, macular degeneration. And I'm like, I couldn't understand that. But your body is made up of trillions of cells, and they're all affected by oxidative stress. It affects every organ system in your body. And so that is just mind-blowing. So you guys have seen that ABC investigative report. Now, this PowerPoint, I thought about not using this one because I had forgot I had this amazing picture in here. But here's, I want to show you a point here. I did a lunch and learn in Florida with some friends of mine in April. And I had Dr. Mark Gordon, who's a cardiologist, and his amazing wife, Pam, and their 2 children. Dr. Gordon zoomed in to explain some of the science to my friends, because you don't have to understand the science. But what I understand is the credibility of this science. Dr. Gordon is a board certified cardiologist, and he worked at one of the top 50 heart hospitals in the country. And he has all this extensive extra training, governor for the South Dakota American College of Cardiology, advanced training in metabolic cardiology. And he recently finished his fellowship in anti-aging and regenerative medicine. So when you have, in our company, has attracted around 250 health professionals with the credentials, just like Dr. Mark Gordon, who's retired, by the way, now, 2 years ago at the age of 50 or 51 from this beautiful business. So, you know, when these are people that have never ever endorsed a product in their entire lives, but when they looked at what we have our hands on, the science behind our products, they are like, oh my gosh, I have an obligation to share this with people. So I show this to you just because you don't have to be a cardiologist. We have cardiologists that can help you explain this to people. But if this is getting this kind of person's attention, it should really get ours. So here's what happened. That ABC investigative report aired, and the stock went soaring up overnight on sheer speculation. But as you saw, Dr. Joe McCord was in that lab and in a little white coat, and they were not business people. They're genius biologists and researchers. They had no infrastructure, no manufacturing, no sales, no point of delivery. I mean, they didn't have anything. So the stock fell down to almost 7 cents a share, almost got delisted. They couldn't fulfill the orders. People forgot about it. And they put this flagship product, Protandim NRF2, in the retail market, CVS, Rite Aid, and I think they were trying to sell it online. But the other exciting thing happened was a lot of researchers saw that ABC clip, and they knew what oxidative stress was. And they all started calling Dr. Joe McCord, and said, wow, we know that oxidative stress is linked to skin cancer, to heart disease, to periodontal disease, to Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, all these diseases. And they wanted to initiate and fund their own studies with our branded product, Protandim. Now, Dr. McCord was the co-discoverer of superoxide dismutase at Duke University, I believe in the late 60s, getting his PhD. And then he spent the next 40 years trying to figure out how to trigger this one enzyme, superoxide dismutase, into, you know, kicking back up and acting like it does when we're young. I can't imagine, honestly, sticking with anything for 40 years. And that's why John Quinones and ABC News was doing that investigative report, because Dr. McCord was awarded the Elliott Cresson Medal for that discovery. There's tons of research that's come out on NRF2. And so the main thing you need to know is Protandim NRF2 is an activator. And there's virtually nothing like it on the planet that has any peer-reviewed science to prove that it reduces oxidative stress. Protandim NRF2 is the only one. But if you go out to a website I'm going to tell you about in a minute, you can search Protandim. You can search oxidative stress and any disease you're wondering about if there's a link, and you can search NRF2. And Washington State University said, we may be on the verge of a new literature on the health effects of NRF2, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. I mean, wow. Those are big words. And that is not me saying that. That is not Lifevantage saying that. That is independent researchers who studied NRF2. And they said based on table 1 and 3. Well, here's table 1. Diseases where raising NRF2 is reported to be useful in prevention or treatment. Holy cow. It's the list of everything you never, ever, ever, ever want to get in your entire life. And these independent researchers are saying, yeah, that we saw results in prevention and treatment. And then they went on to say, it is our opinion that raising NRF2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. I mean, are you kidding me? So, I mean, I was, you know, I'm all in with taking these products forever. And we have a study from the National Institute of Health. We're the only natural product on planet Earth that's been proven to extend life. You can get with the person that invited you to this. They can get you all these, you know, studies and videos and all this information. But this is a really, really, really big deal. You know, we're sitting on a powder keg. This is going to change the course of mankind, because when you learn about this, when you learn your own body can produce antioxidant enzymes and reduce the inflammation, all these other one-to-one products are going to become obsolete. So I know we're pressed for time, so I'm gonna not do every slide. PubMed.gov is the U.S. National Library of Medicine. It is the highest standard of medical research in the world. It's where doctors go to do their research. And you can go out there, and if you're wondering if oxidative stress is linked to autoimmune, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, IBS, cancer, arthritis, dementia, Alzheimer's, you name it, you type it, you'll find it. The American Heart Association published one of our heart studies. We have 5 heart studies. And Circulation is the most prestigious journal in the American Heart Association. And this is the only time they've ever published a study on a nutraceutical, ever. Never before and never since, ever, ever, ever. This is a huge, huge deal. So I don't have a health background, but I recognize the credentials of the people involved, you know, in our science. And it's indisputable. You know, the US Patent Office. We've had a lot of results with our products with children with autism and the autism spectrum and Asperger's and ADHD. And this is a beautiful girl, daughter of a teammate of mine. And she had only been on Protandim for 2 weeks and in the autism spectrum. And those children, you know, are often you know, don't like to touch anybody. They don't show affection, even though they love everybody, they don't show it. And this particular girl would not look at a camera. And I mean, it doesn't even look like the same person in 2 weeks. I just love these pictures. 2 weeks, and then it was at a family wedding. And this is a chiropractor in Arizona's nephew, you know, 2 weeks. So we're changing lives. Every major pharmaceutical company is developing drugs that use the NRF2 pathway. It's the absolute future of medicine, of nutrition, of health and wellness. If you know anybody with MS, get with the person who invited you to this. There's a drug out there that's $50,000 a year, a lot of bad side effects like Humira, and their company spent millions of dollars to study their product against ours, which is $40 a month plus tax and shipping, and actually you can get free shipping. And said, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement, was the most potent inducer and therefore maybe the most suited. And we're essentially a superfood. We're 5, you know, phyto plant-based nutrients. And so this is the graph. A is Protandim Nerf2, and C is the drug that's $50,000. Well, look at how much more we activate NRF2. Mind-blowing. So Protandim NRF2 is an activator. So eating healthy is important. There's many pieces to the health puzzle, but you're never going to win the oxidative stress battle with just good nutrition, because you're only neutralizing one free radical, 1-to-1 and done. A body's trillions of cells, we're hit with millions of free radicals per second. You can't feel it, just like you can't feel your blood pressure, you can't feel your cholesterol level, you can't feel oxidative stress. But taking one little yellow pill one time per day, every day, and then it revs up your own body to behave like you were young again, 20, and it neutralizes 1 million per second, every second, and doesn't get used up. And those are the 5 phytonutrients in our product. So, and I mentioned all the large pharmaceuticals are developing drugs, so you know you're onto something big then. So we also came out with another amazing breakthrough last year. The 2 main problems, the 2 biggest issues with aging are you don't produce as much mitochondria and oxidative stress. So NRF2 deals with oxidative stress, and a year ago we came out with another breakthrough, NRF1, and that deals with boosting your production of mitochondria. Mitochondria is the fuel for your cells. It's also linked to tons of diseases like ALS and Parkinson's and those sorts of things. So this is the 1-2 punch. When you think about it, I don't think we have found a cure for anything since possibly polio. So I just feel, I've realized I need to take my health, my family's health into my hands. We need to educate ourselves. We need to learn how to eat better nutrition. And we need to be open to learning about new technologies that can maybe help keep our health, our cells healthy. So we've got that here. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that or the rest of we've got some amazing products. Get with the person who invited you. We have an amazing new little 7-minute clip of our other product line, but LSU did 2 studies on skin cancer. So we have the only NRF2 enhanced skincare system in the US. It's amazing. I told you guys I golf all the time. I also have a cabin and a boat. I turned 60. I know I probably can't get close enough, but I virtually don't have any wrinkles. So amazing, amazing stuff. We have smart energy. Oh my gosh, I've been learning so much about this. I just picked up another new book called Unbreakable Brain. And everybody is talking about these nutrients that your brain needs to not get dementia, which leads to Alzheimer's. And they're talking about, B6, B12, L-theanine, quercetin, New Zealand pine bark. We have all of that and sweetened with stevia. Nothing artificial. These things are amazing. Learn about it. Also having huge results with the kids with autism. All mammals have oxidative stress, dogs, cats, cows, llamas. So get with the person. We have an incredible weight management system. It's been helping me a lot. Protein shake, less than a gram of sugar, best one I've ever tasted in my life, and I have bought them all. I make a smoothie every morning. Fat burn is amazing. ProBio, there's nothing like it on the market. Nothing is good. But what I want to get to is I just want to encourage everyone on this webinar, Zoom, if you are not doing cartwheels over where you're going to be financially in 2 to 5 years, take a look at this company and this industry and this timing with an open mind, because that's what I did. And I was floored. You talk about trends, health and wellness, as I mentioned, going to be $1 trillion industry. Direct sales is a $182 billion industry. And I'm like, wow, how did I get through a Big Ten college, get a degree in accounting, pass the CPA exam, and not even know this industry exists? Forbes magazine says it's the best kept secret in business. Warren Buffett said it's the best investment he ever made. He bought Pampered Chef a number of years ago. And Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, wholly endorses it and says it offers the greatest promise for building wealth. It is almost impossible to create any kind of wealth in this country, in this world, without creating some sort of network, some sort of leverage. And the most important thing in real estate is location. And the most important thing in network marketing is timing. And almost nobody has heard of this. And when I'm a sports fan, I love all sporting events. When I look at the Super Bowl on TV, I often think, how many people in there have heard of Lifevantage, Protandim NRF2, oxidative stress? None of them. None of them. So we are pioneering this new technology. It's going to change how wellness is done. It's going to change how medicine is done, and is the absolute ground floor. So, if you'd like to make a little extra money, have another income flow. When I had my Oprah aha moment, and I'm not saying anything bad about any of these companies, but Amway and Avon are doing around $12 billion a year, and you can get their products anywhere, hundreds of places, thousands, Amazon, and you can't get our products anywhere except through an independent Lifevantage distributor. And we virtually have no competition. We have no competition that has the science we have that proves our products do what we say they do. And so when I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was going to tell people about this anyway, because you almost feel obligated. I mean, the stories that have come back to me, the people's lives that I have touched just by touching one person and the ripple effect, this is going to become $1 billion company with or without any of us on this call. And 2 to 5 years is going to go by whether you do this or not. So if you would love to have options in your life, if you would love to have time and financial freedom, if you would love to help your kids or your grandkids pay for college or take a nice vacation, get out of debt, take a serious look at this business, because there's a lot of tax advantages to having a home-based business. But this is the funnest, most worthwhile thing I have ever done in my life. I've met incredible people like Shawn and Michelle Poe and a lot of other people on this call tonight that I can't even imagine my life without them. We're a publicly traded company. Our distributors are making money. Now, keep in mind, this is network marketing, not net wish. So just because you're early, if you jump in and get enrolled, you still have to share this with people. You don't make money just for enrolling early. It is work, but it is really fulfilling. It is really purposeful. Having an amazing time. I'm an elite Pro 7. The average Pro 7 makes over $10,000 a month. I mean, that's life-changing. But, even at the Pro 4, Pro 5, an extra $1,000 a month, extra $2,000 a month. Amazing stuff. So if you look at other ways you could earn an extra $5,000 a month, for example, you'd have to invest over $1 million and earn 6%. And there's nowhere you're going to be doing that. So we're only open in 10 countries right now. We're going to go into every country in the world that does network marketing. We have the best compensation plan in the industry, global revenue sharing pools. Who do you know that would love to know about this? And I love Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees of separation. Somebody is going to introduce this to your friends and family. Why not you? Think about it. Do your research on credible sources. We have 3 different enrollment packs. The person who invited you can tell you. We have a front shirt sponsor with the Real Salt Lake Major League Soccer team. We have incentive trips you can earn, Jeeps you can earn, not a lease program. I'm so proud to be associated with a company that gives back big time. We do a lot of charity work. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Shawn, and I know that was quick. Lots of people know how to get a hold of me. If I can answer any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for listening in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patti. And we appreciate your knowledge and expertise. And yes, that was a 10,000-foot overview. And that's really what these webinars are designed for, is to give you guys kind of a sampling of what's going on, what the company has to offer. But definitely get back with the person that invited you on. Let them know where you stand. If this isn't for you, that's all right. Just let them know. Maybe we can send you out when new products come out, or we launch new countries, new financials, new science, something like that. If you do have questions, like Patti said, get back with the person that invited you. Let them know what those questions are, because it's definitely a lot better to go to places like the American Heart Association's research as opposed to looking the information up that a blogger is posting. And then if you're ready to get started, either as a customer or distributor, let the person that invited you know that as well. So with that, this webinar is a wrap, and we will talk with you all later. Thank you so much, Patti, for sharing your time and your expertise.
Oh, I'm so honored. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.